All right, who can read this one and wants to read it to the class? Want to, Eric? Okay, go.
The 80-20 rule.
Okay, so this is called the 80-20 rule. Have you heard of it before? Okay, interesting. So this is actually quite famous. There's some scientists way back, I don't know if it's a couple, 300 years ago in Italy. His name was Pareto. And Pareto came up with this idea. The idea is that for human existence, there's this 80-20 relationship. So here's some examples. 80% of all the crime is committed by only 20% of all the people. Does that make sense to you? Does it resonate with you? You're like, yeah, there are people out there that commit crime and they do most of the crime. And it breaks into this 80-20 rule almost always, almost religiously. It's like a statistics number. Okay, so 80% of all the car accidents are caused by 20% of all the drivers. So imagine if you're an insurance company and you could figure out who the 20% are. You wouldn't insure them. You with me? You could save your business. If you only insured the 20%, you'd be paying on 80% accidents. Could kill your insurance business, right? Okay, let's try to think of one for students. Are you trying to think of one? How about this? 80% of all your homework is assigned by only 20% of all your teachers. Think of your teachers. Are there just a few that give you the bulk of all homework? Maybe. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm seeing some back and forth. All right, let's think of others. For a class, 80% of all the work comes down to probably 20% of the class content. How about that? Do you have classes where all of a sudden you hit a certain unit and that's all the work you're doing? You're like, this is the whole work of the whole semester. You feel that way. How about that? Okay. Can anybody think of examples in your life? Juana, anything coming to your mind? Alex, anything coming to your mind? Luca, are you listening to me? Pedro, anything coming to your mind? This one's a little bit harder. Right? This is a little bit harder concept. Alberto, anything? 80% of the food you eat comes down to only sort of 20% of all the food available out there. So think of all the food available out there. Yet in your life, probably if you think about the meals you eat, probably 80% of everything you eat comes from a small group of all that, about 20% of all that. How about that? Does that one hit home? How many of you eat cereal in the morning? You like cereal? Right? Cereal, one of God's gifts to America, right? Breakfast cereal, okay? How many of you eat a lot of cereal? Sometimes you'll eat it for dinner, right? Okay, I might be onto something here, right? And so if you think about all the food you eat, you're like, wow, 80% of everything I eat comes down to only 20% of everything that's maybe in the fridge or in the kitchen, right? Okay, how about this? In the refrigerator, let's go on the refrigerator. Maybe this will try to hit home. In the refrigerator, out of 100% of stuff in the fridge, most families only eat 80% of that. 20% often goes to waste. How about that? Does that resonate with you? Okay, I got one, right? And the weird part is, if you try your hardest to only put stuff in the fridge that the family's going to eat, it still starts to balance out to this 80-20 rule. There's still 20% left over. And do your parents complain about it like I do as a parent? I'm like, you guys are driving me mad, right? We spend so much on food, and here's 20% that looks like nobody's eating, right? And sometimes even they'll ask for it. My kids will ask for certain things, and then I look, and it's not eaten, right? Okay, when you're a parent, you'll do the same thing, okay? But that's some time away for you for the moment. Okay, let's think of another one. How about, I was thinking of another one within, so I think the 80-20 starts to go even smaller. Okay, how about, you know when you get to the bottom of the cereal box, there's all that dust and sort of crunched up stuff that you don't like as much as the top cereal?
I love that part.
You do? Okay, I love that part too, because it makes the milk all sugary, right? And I like to drink the sugary milk. Okay, but in general, hi Ricardo, in general, that might also break into 80-20, right? 80% of the cereal a lot of people like, and 20% is kind of that dust stuff that a lot of people don't like, okay, possibly. But I hear you, sometimes that's the special part for you, right? Okay, all right, so are you thinking of others? Does this stir your memory a little bit? Are you thinking of other situations that might break into 80-20? I would bet that out of your wardrobe, think of all the clothes you own at home. I would bet that 80% of everything you wear might come down to 20% of that. You might like only 20% of the whole thing and you wear it over and over, right? Possibly. Okay, it might fit that. Maybe, maybe not, right? This doesn't always work. But it's an interesting idea for you to look at the world in, right? Look through this lens of 80-20 and see if it can help you change your life. If, let's put it this way. Let's say that you did figure out that out of your wardrobe, only 20% of your clothes were clothes you like to wear. How about you go get rid of the 80%? Right? How about you give all that to Goodwill and maybe see if, bless you, Jose, maybe see if that 20%, maybe you could get other clothes that are like those clothes, right? So you could adjust your life around the 80-20 rule and maybe your life gets a little better. Maybe you're like, I really like my clothes now because it's only the 20% that I used to wear. Now I've tried to shift it. And maybe it becomes 80% of your clothes you like and only 20 you don't like, right? So you try to flip the 80-20 rule on its head and use it to your advantage. Does this kind of make sense? I feel like this one's kind of out there, right? It's kind of out there, Alberto. You've never heard of this idea before, but do you kind of see maybe somewhere in there? Okay, I appreciate you guys doing this. All right, so go to page 105. Here's your assignment. Write about where in your life the 80-20 rule might be in effect. How can you put the 80-20 rule to work to improve your life? Fair enough? Just a few sentences on page 105. Okay, Eric, hit it.